back to Sports Today. We have another update for you from the BWF World Championships. Unfortunately, this isn't the best of updates to be bringing you because India's campaign in the men's singles side of things is in fact over. You'd remember that, HS Prannoy and Lakshya Sen were the two main competitors in the men's singles side of things, and as fate would have it, they faced off against each other in the round of 16, and it was Prannoy who ended up emerging victorious in that particular bout. However, as it turns out, Prannoy has now in fact lost his quarterfinal bout. He lost out to China's Zhao Junpeng. And Zhao Junpeng, it's worth noting, was also another unseeded competitor, just like Prannoy was. So it was really a battle of two unseeded competitors, both of whom were looking to actually continue what were dream runs in the World Championships at this point. So unfortunately for Prannoy, he ended up losing out, but it was a very hard fought match between both of them. So both of them actually ended up, it was a very back and forth encounter, because if you go through, let's go through the games quickly. The first one was Prannoy winning 21-19. Except for the second game, which Prannoy ended up pretty much giving away to his opponent 21-6, because it was pretty clear Prannoy was dealing with an injury. Why that was the case, we'll come to that in just a minute. This third game too was very back and forth, but in the end it was the Chinese who ended up winning out quite comfortably, or rather not that comfortably, but 21-18 was the gap here. So for Prannoy, as I said, the first game, he was in fine form. He early on in the first game, again, even though it was a very back and forth encounter from the get-go, Prannoy did manage to take the mid-game lead. He was up 11-10, a slender lead, but still leads the lead, right? However, unfortunately, what happened was that in the latter part of the match, he ended up slipping on court at one point, and he seemed to be in some discomfort. He managed to gut through the rest of the game and in fact ended up winning it too. But in the second game, he was far from his best. His intensity level dropped down several notches, and you could tell that he was basically in self-preservation mode. He was preserving his energy for a decider, because the second game was very, very lopsided. In the mid-game, the Chinese was up 11-2. So that itself tells you everything you need to know, and the game ended with Prannoy only sealing another 4 points. So that was the unfortunate part, but you still had some hope that Prannoy would actually raise his game in the final game, and that's exactly what happened. In the initial parts, he was going pretty well. But unfortunately, it was in fact Zhao Junpeng who ended up playing much better as the match went on, because post-game break, after the game break in the final game, it was in fact Junpeng who was very, very dominant, and it seemed like Prannoy was just running out of steam after one point. And to be fair, he did seem a little injured, so we don't really know what exactly the situation is there. Hopefully we'll have some clarity on that soon enough, but it was pretty clear that he was struggling physically. And no real surprise, he ended up losing out, despite even towards the end, like he was down 19-13, and he did in fact end up getting a few points after that, but it wasn't to be for him. So hard-fought loss for Prannoy. He was this close to securing himself a World Championships medal, but it wasn't meant to be. Nevertheless, still a campaign that he can be proud of. He ended up getting two big wins against seeded opponents, and he was a whisker away from making it to the semis. So pretty good showing from him all around. Unfortunately, though, it means that the only medal prospects at this point for India are Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy, and Chirag Shetty. Remember, they will be taking part in the semi-finals, which of the men's doubles. So even if they lose that, they get a bronze. But of course, they would be hopeful that they can make it to the final and secure at least a silver, if not gold. But for HS Prannoy, this is the end of the road. Anyway, it was a hard-fought loss, and there's not much he can do except be proud of the effort he put in, despite clearly being injured towards the later part of that match. Now, that's it from this particular breaking news update. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Drop us a comment on how proud you are of Prannoy after that particular loss. Despite the fact that he lost, he actually fought very hard and was injured. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon so you know when it is that we're going live or uploading a new video for you guys. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Last but not least, download the Sports Tech app for more such breaking news updates. Thank you all so much for joining us, and bye-bye for now.